I feel ripped off, disappointed. I feel powerless. I feel like I should have known and acted sooner. I want to trust you. I feel that in a quiet moment, I could be glad that we shared what we did, but not too loudly, because that's not allowed. That's too hard, too easy, too brutal, too insensitive. I feel like we were fighting upstream, but the boat had a hole in it. We were shoveling the water out at the same pace that it was flowing in. I didn't want to see the hole. I want to believe you. I feel stupid, naive. I feel like erasing my memory and walking out into the street in polka-dotted platforms and attracting as many potential lovers as I can. I feel like building an empire so big and impressive that you won't be able to find me in it. That you'll be so impressed that all you can do is stand back and watch me in admiration. I feel like sleeping for a really long time. I feel nothing. I don't want to feel anything. I feel like telling on you to your mother. I feel like organizing a huge party and inviting all sorts of fantastic people and feeding them delicious food and paying for all their drinks. And that we all wear ball gowns and look great and dance together until our ankles hurt and the power runs out. I feel like moving to Spain and only speaking French so that no one understands me and I remain distant and exotic. I feel like paying the police force to gather all their dogs and have them surround your house and bark threateningly for 2 days, day and night. I feel like pulling out my esophagus and turning it into a musical instrument. A recorder, maybe, or a tuba. And then I would call a meeting with all your ex-girlfriends and form a punk band that only uses instruments made from bone. And we would go on tour and always wear the traditional clothing of the country that we play in. And in Japan, we would attract the attention of the National Gravediggers Association, who will pay us big money to dance naked on huge piles of coals on a moonless night in January. There's a second film. But there's a pause in between them of about 2 minutes. It's probably just not enough time to go to the bathroom or get a drink from the bar. But I thought 5 minutes would be too long. Maybe this is an excuse to just sit and look at people. I want to be happy where I am. I want to be satisfied with where I am. I want to be quiet and noisy and not get caught up in the practical details. I don't want to be jealous of people that fly. I will fly. I am flying. I want to be able to see myself flying and be able to enjoy the memory. I want to explore all the corners of being human. Explore all the hidden corners of my insides. To travel to the corners of my mind and not be afraid about getting lost. And be able to keep on talking all the while. I want to not be afraid to try. And not be afraid to rest. And not be afraid of quiet. And not be afraid of pain. I want to live in a house, at least for a while. A house where I can sit and let the time pass at its own tempo. I want to get to know a cat, and perhaps a chicken, and through them, discover firsthand some of the nuances of animal behaviour. I want to spend at least 16 full days reading, preferably lying down, somewhere warm. I want to illustrate children's books. I want to take all the days one step at a time. I want to know what it feels like to crush the skull of a pigeon and see how I react. I want to start a multinational corporation that sends machines. I want to start a multinational corporation that sends machines out to crush all that's been built up, to crush all the knowledge that's been collected and so carefully archived. I want to smoke so much that my fingers turn blue, and at every sign of emotion, I want to change the subject and avoid any pain that comes my way. I want to set fire bombs in all the post boxes in the city. I want to go out one day and stand on as many people's feet as I can, in stilettos, red ones, with nails in the heel. I want to sit beside my grandma for a whole day without saying anything. What would happen? Would I cry? Would she try and find meaning in my action? Or would it be allowed to exist? Am I allowed to be there? Will she die soon? I want to pull out all the flowers from all the public places and take them to the graves of ex-army folk and dance naked around the graveyard until it gets dark and I collapse into a ball on the ground and sleep there, until the next morning when a procession comes past of a child that died by falling off the top of a jungle gym. What would happen then? All the flowers would be strewn around the pathways, and I would be naked and dirty and cold and probably hungry, and maybe a little ashamed to be faced with the grief of a family still in shock at the early loss of their newly deceased offspring. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry for their loss. I'm sorry for the outburst. I want to be able to own my sorrow.